disaster must come. At best, only postponed. Shaolin Kung Fu, to survive, must now be taught to more young men.
Welcome once again to another episode of Fist Kicks and Flixx, the podcast about martial arts, movies, and life. I am your host today, Joe Hartley, and with me is Angel Diaz. How are we today, sir? We are going to just jump right into it. Frankly, how you been? What's going on? And how was your week? I can't hear nothing. Is your mic on?
I'm good. My bad. I'm laughing because I'm like, yo, you refuse to do this intro, bro.
You know, it's the thing is, it's not written down. I'm not Gene, so I'm not going to be Gene. You know what I'm saying? Like Gene does his own thing.
I'm gonna take my. I'm gonna take my attempt at the intro.
That's fine, man. Like it is what it is. Like when Gene's here, he does his thing. We're just gonna do our own thing, and you know, if people like it, they like it, and if they don't, you know, Gene will be back when he's done getting married. You know.
I'm doing good. I'll be honest with you. Today I saw a picture of Gene, and I was about to post a comment under and be like, "Who's this stranger?" I was about to, so I was just a mess with him, man. But I'm doing good though, man. Everything's going good. Really, just you know how this goes. School year's winding down. I'm sure your wife talks about it with you. Just this whole job hunt has been interesting, man. It's just been a different experience, so it's been very interesting. And then outside of that, man, just honestly, man, I think I'm just like so checked out in terms of just like work. I'm just so checked out. I'm like, can we just get to the end of the year? Can I just get my days back? That's it.
So the job hunt is for real. So that has to happen.
Oh yeah. The job hunt that's solid, bro. Like that's.
I feel like you were just going through this last year.
Hey, that's the problem, man. It's and I think that's the one thing they don't talk about education is that it's so and you know however people want to view it is their perception. My perception from being an educator. They try to make it seem as if educators are flexible and are expendable when I feel like that's the opposite. It should be treated with the same respect as a first responder, you know, anything along those lines, right? But I'm also in the field, so I have a bias to it. But yeah, so it's you know I did just go through this, but I'm going through it again. But you know what though, man, I gotta say, man, I am blessed, man. God got my back, and He's been presenting me with some great opportunities. So I'm more than thankful, honestly.
That's good, man. I like to hear that.
Yeah.
No, I just had this conversation with my daughter today about teachers and how, you know, that there needs to be a lot more because, I mean, in the end, you guys are shaping the future of the next generation. The next generation is now. You know, the next CEOs, the next, you know, possible president, you know, these are all people, you know, kids now that are from 10, 20 years from now that are being taught. So, I mean, we do need to put an emphasis on our teachers and get on that. But, you know, that's something that's got to just happen. That's been something forever. You know, you can't just rely on, once they get tenured, everything is okay, because I don't think that's 100% true, man. Like, you got to take care of our teachers.
Listen, you know, for me, I haven't even hit my tenure year. Like,
I know, that's what I'm saying.
Like this next year is probably it should be my tenure year. Hopefully it is. Like, I still don't know. I mean, you know how like annoying that is? Like, and it's tough.
Then I'm seeing a lot of in our area right now, we're seeing a lot of teachers get to their 30 years and they're not even retirement age, but they're retiring because they're just burnt out.
Yeah,
they're just like, man, I can't take this. Like, they'd rather just take that pension, take that 401k and go work at Walmart for like 5 years and then take the, you know, get their Social Security, and which is not good. They should be, you know, taken care of so much that they don't get burned out. That, you know, you get a summer off and you're getting burned out. That's not a good sign for our teachers.
That actually is true though, you know.
But I'm saying that if you're still getting those 3 months, but you're still being burned out at the end of the year, that's not a good sign. That's not good.
You know, and I'm going to say this, and I'm going to use caution when I say this, because I don't want people to think that a teaching job is easy, and I'm not going to put down any other profession either, but I just want to like make it clear, like to reiterate your point. You know, I think in terms of what I can think of for professionals and like a profession, teaching is probably one of the only jobs that you can work half the amount of days in a year and still get paid the same salary as someone who works the full amount of days in a year, right? There's a different stress level that comes with our job that requires us to get paid a certain amount. But I still think it's just never enough. But I mean, that's everybody. I mean, everyone in the world thinks they're not getting paid enough. And I think something else, man, people aren't talking about this layoff crisis that's happening across the country. It's not just teaching. It's not just my profession. It's everywhere, every profession. You know, there is a crisis and they're not talking about this layoff. And I'm very shocked because it seems like everyone I talk to, friends of different professions in the same professions in different states, right? They are definitely, without a doubt, like going through this issue. So it's crazy.
Yeah, it's for real, bro. Altogether, like how many kids do you teach on a day every day? How many
Every
kids are in
day.
your class?
So every day, I teach at least 120 students a day.
Okay, so like just think about that. That's the thing that I don't think people understand. So each of your class is probably what, 30 kids?
Yeah.
That's a lot of kids, man. That's 30 different personalities. That's 30 different people coming in that you have to take control over. You have to keep their attention for what, an hour, hour and a half?
Hour.
That's a lot.
An hour and
That's
a half,
a lot, man.
And then
it's not easy to do.
Yeah, you're counting that, and you're not counting the students that may have lunch or two, the students that you see in the hallway. I mean, you
that's
know,
what I'm saying.
I try to tell people, man, like in all seriousness, I am on the outside, you know, some people are gonna have different views about me, whether I'm outgoing, whether I'm very introverted or extroverted. You know, I'll be honest, man, like most of the time I like to be extroverted, but I sometimes, like most of the time, I don't talk because I talk so much at work that I'm like, I just need like my brain to not hear, like I need my brain to have dead space because
of course
I do get headaches. Like I do go crazy. So, I mean, that's just, again, me. Everyone's different. Some people have different experiences. So that's just on my side, you know?
All right, cool.
How about you, Joe? How's your week been? How's everything been going? I know you've been, you know, I feel like I you know, at this point, I don't even know why I ask you sometimes because I feel like every time I ask you, it's the same thing. Oh, work is crazy, life is crazy. Like it's for you. I've never heard you had a downtime.
Well,
like, things are going good
well,
right now.
I get a little bit here and there. Like my days off are okay.
It's gonna sound messed up, and I don't mean this in a rude way, everybody. The only time he was like happy, and I'm not saying happy because he was happy with the situation. The only time he looked like he was calm was when everyone was sick in his house. Like nothing crazy was going on. And I said that only because then he was able to kind of relax because they couldn't go to their extracurriculars or he could just go to work, come home. But besides that,
like when everyone is sick, like then I go into have to play, you know, doctor. So
yeah.
That's a whole thing. But that's, you know, that comes with just being a parent. No, man, this was a fun but crazy week. So I took Friday, Saturday, and Sunday off. And the idea was we were supposed to go to Comic-Con all 3 days with the kids and have fun, but it didn't get to work out. We only got to go on Friday, but you know what? Friday was just enough. Why? Because Saturday was my son's birthday.
Okay.
And then Sunday we kind of just needed the day, even though we didn't take the day to fully relax, but we did some running around. But Friday Comic-Con, 3 of us out of the 4 are dressed up. My wife had an art show to get ready for, and then she's also helping out with a few other things. So she had to teach. So the kids took off of school, and we went about 1 o'clock and hung around till about 6 o'clock. And man, I don't know if you've ever been to anything like that, but it is so much fun. Just walking around, seeing all these people. There's all these booths set up, and then you can go see the celebrities, even though, you know, if you want to get pictures with them and stuff, you got to pay for it. But I just like walking around and seeing everything.
I like going to Comic-Cons. I like going to Comic-Cons for the games and for the action figures. Dope. Dope.
Oh, heck yeah. Heck yeah. Oh, man, I could spend all my money on that crap.
So dope.
So, you know, the kids and I, we all dressed up, except for my middle child. She wanted nothing to do with any of that. She told me, she's like, I'm just going to just drop me off at the door and I'll see you guys in there. Yeah. So my one daughter, she dressed up like one of her animes. My son put on his Halloween costume was a pickle, and he just told everyone he was Pickle Rick.
That's
And
dope.
and then I did Fat Thor because it was all I needed for that was some clothes, a hammer, and a wig. And my oldest told me I looked more like Jesus, but I was like, you know what? I don't care. I have a hammer. Jesus was a carpenter. Let's go, Fat Jesus. I don't even care. It was fun. I got some, took some pictures with some people. There was everything. Like the people that show out for that. And see, Friday is not even the craziest day. Saturday was usually the day where there's like tons of other people that dress up and everything, and more of the celebrities show up. Because my brother and his wife, they signed up. She's obsessed with Charlie Hunnam from Sons of Anarchy.
Yep.
Jax Teller, their son together is named after his character in Sons of Anarchy. And I was just dying because she got in there, she took all her pictures, and then right away on Facebook, she cropped my brother right out of that picture. I was like, I told my brother, I was like, oh man, you might be losing that one, bro. Right away. Her and her, I think it was her cousin, did the same thing. They just cropped everyone out and made it look like they were the only ones in that picture, and I was dying.
That's funny.
I was like, that one cracked me up. Someone who the Friday when I was there, because he wasn't not on the list, and I looked twice, but Scott Steiner just all of a sudden showed up out of nowhere.
Big Papa Pump?
Yeah, he had the chainmail on. I was trying to get a picture, but
dude, you gotta pay at least for that picture. What the hell?
He wanted like $150, and I gotta stand in line.
$150. He better put me in a chokehold and put me to sleep.
He probably would if you asked him nicely. If he had enough time to do it, he probably would do something.
I'll start release waivers and everything. Fuck it.
Right? But man, he's still huge. Holy crap.
Yeah. Oh.
He didn't even have his shirt off, but he was that's a big dude. And he was sitting down too. I was like, I wanted to see him stand up.
Probably heard him stand up.
Yeah, so I was kind of looking around because usually when you see the list of everyone there, like you can kind of go through, but I looked twice on that list and he was not on it. So I wonder if he was like a surprise or if he came with like Lex Luger was there. So I wonder if he came with that crew.
And he probably figured he could make some money off of it. So why not?
Oh, they definitely, because the wrestling people, their booths are always the fullest.
Yeah,
like it's usually that, and then like your top celebrities. But and the one guy, I could never remember his name, but he plays in The Mandalorian. He was the bad guy. He had the black saber. I don't know if you've seen it, but he's a really good and popular actor. That guy's booth is always full too, and it's like. And then I feel bad sometimes because sometimes you'll go there and you'll see like some of the booths aren't full at all. And I'm like, oh, they showed up, tried to make some money, and like they got 2 people at their booth.
I
just feel so terrible.
I like to talk to them just in case if that happens, just to make them feel better.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Some of them, they'll be like kind of in their feelings about it, but some of them they'll just sit there and BS with you for a little bit. My daughter always laughs at me. She's like, "Dad, why are you talking to that guy?" I was like, "I don't know. I just wanted to say what's up." Like McFoley last year, I was McFoley. I'm like, "What up, bro? I read your book. I loved it. I did. I read his book in 6th grade. I was dying."
I actually think I did too. That's the crazy thing. I think I did.
That was one of the best books, like as far as the wrestling books go.
McFoley is dope.
That was a really good book. He's crazy.
Listen,
man, he was looking old.
He would forever. I mean, well, you not know what the hell he's been through. Like, fuck.
I know.
The fact that he's even standing, let's just give him a round of applause.
Well, he's one of the realists because he's the one, like, he used to do the crap in Japan that was like practically real. Like, they were doing real barbed wire and taking some real hits and razor blades and all that. He likes all that realism.
Yeah, he's.
And then Saturday was supposed to do paintball with my son, but we had a air quality day.
Okay.
And I'm not running around in 90-degree weather with air quality issues.
What is that? I don't know what that is.
It's like, they try to keep you inside. The heat mixed with the pollen in the air causes, you're not really supposed to breathe it in. So they tell everyone not to run their lawnmowers and to try and stay inside. So it's not good for running around shooting paintball.
Really? I never.
Yeah, it's just
we don't have that over here, so that's why I'm just like surprised.
Yeah, it happens every once in a while, right at the beginning and sometimes at the end of the summer. It'll just, they'll post it on Alexa, or they'll post it on the news.
I don't have an answer to that.
Oh, now my Alexa dot's turning on.
Yeah.
And then so we found something else. There's a little what's it called, Paradise Point or something like that, and it literally was right across from Comic-Con, and it had go-karts, laser tag, trampolines, all that. So my son beat me in go-kart, just flying around, and then he spanked me in some laser tag. He didn't spank me, but I'd swear every time I thought I was like sneaking up on him, he'd be right behind me. I told him, I was like, my heart can't handle this. Because they got on top of him sneaking behind me, they got like smoke and lasers. So I'm like, my old eyes can't track all that stuff, man. Like, it's just not happening. I told him, that's what I told him. Because he's the type, like, all of a sudden he'll just be like, ha ha, and shoot all of a sudden I'm like, like, and I thought I was following him.
Yeah.
So we had fun with that. And then there's a nice barbecue place right around the corner from there that he really likes. So we went over there, got some lunch, came back, had dinner at my mom's. And yeah, it was a good time, man. I had a really fun time. And my wife doesn't like that I say this, but I'm at the point now, I got teenagers, okay? And every moment my teenagers still want to hang out with their old man, like, I'm happy. And I mean, they might be good with me for the rest of their life because I'm just a big kid, man. But you never know. Like, one of these years, they're not going to want to hang out with me. They're going to want to go hang out with their friends or boyfriends or girlfriends, whatever. So I'm going to enjoy every second of it. You know what I'm saying?
That's the right thing to do, man. Honestly.
Yeah. And then just a funny tidbit, and I wish Gene was here for this because he would understand it a little more. But my wife is looking for a new master's program. And the first one she comes across is because she was she was in a psych program. Okay. And she's like, she can't handle, she wants to get back into the art. So she found some art education. The first one, the #1 rated online art program, Ohio State University.
Listen, I don't like Ohio State because I'm go blue now. I'm go blue, so I don't like Ohio State either.
And I told her, I'm like, you're killing me with that right now, right? Like I might have to file divorce papers. Like, if you really and of course I'm joking because I'm like, if you can do what you got to do for your education, man. But that one really hurt. I'm like, you can't find anything else.
Hey, listen,
So what's the #2 school? Go to the #2 school.
I said this to my girlfriend. I said, if it's gonna sound crazy, so I'm not gonna say the exact words that I said, but I'm gonna give you the clip notes. I told her, I said, if the New York Knicks win a championship, we're having a baby this year, and I'm naming it Nick. I was like, let's just make sure that's clear. I was like, she's like, what? I said, because I didn't think it was gonna happen in my lifetime, so I need to remember it forever. Nick. I was like, boy or girl, Nick. That's what we're going with. And she started laughing.
You know what? If I gotta tell you, if the Lions won a Super Bowl or something back when my wife and I were trying to have kids, I probably would have done the same.
Yeah, like I don't know if it'll ever happen.
Named him Jared or something stupid like that.
I don't know if it'll ever happen. So I need to know. I need to know, like you.
Right?
I'll say right to my kids, I'll be like, "You're special. You're special. Don't ever let anyone tell you different." Like,
hey, man, that's a good story. When you have a good story with naming your kids, it helps everything. Exactly. It really does. So, moving on to our question. How do I want to word this? So I know one-steps are a big part of most martial arts programs, but I guess the question could be like, what can we do to better our one-step program? And I have some ideas myself. Like, what can we do to make it more practical, I guess, in the real world?
So I have a very unique mindset when it comes to these one steps, right? And so for me, we do 1 steps and we do 3 steps, right? I actually think the most effective. Let me go back. Let me say, I think out of 1 steps and 3 steps, I think 1 steps are more applicable and they're more, you can really get them to real world scenarios. The reason why I say that is because if you're in a bar fight, if you're in a street fight, whatever, the 1 step is like that first initial action, that first initial, technique that's thrown, the first blow, the first engagement. Usually those are the moments where can make a big difference on who comes out alive and safe and who doesn't. Because if you freeze up and you tense and you get hit, who knows what can happen from there, right? Yeah. Or if you're able to counter and react, if you're able to engage and finish, that makes a big difference, right? But as much as I love 1 steps and 3 steps, and I think they are useful and they're very practical, I think what makes it practical is the way in which you train it. So I believe that there's a basic level in training it. And then I do believe that you have to advance it and evolve it to making it more applicable to a real world scenario. So what I think is like, if you're having, so for me and my style, right? We have 1 steps and 3 steps. Both of them, you stand at your ready position, right? You step back with your down block. Boom, I'm going to punch at your face. You're going to block. Whatever block you want, boom, you counter, right? I think it's beautiful for basic understanding and to understand the concept. I think after that, now we need to make it more real. As you're walking, someone comes and attacks you. And they throw that punch or they just come and throw a hook. What are you going to do? What is your first line of defense, right? I even would like to do it, and I've thought about this before, about doing it with my adult students and my brown and black belts. When they start coming in through the door, I start grabbing them and putting them in headlocks. Like, what are you going to do?
That's interesting.
Bro,
That's interesting.
It sounds crazy, but it's like, what are you going to do?
No, it doesn't sound crazy. It sounds like a way to get them on their toes, man.
How do I and use it for the point of it's okay if you freeze up, right, in the beginning. But now how do we approach? Because now we have to make everyone has a different philosophy. And some people say like, we're not training soldiers and whatever you want to use, right? Some people are like, we prepare for battlefields and war, whatever it is. I think just getting kids now, getting our students and getting adults to understand that life is the battlefield sometimes. Just going about your business, going to pump gas, and this is not a dig at you, Joe. I'm just saying.
No, I hear you, man. I got you.
Going to pump gas could be a problem. You know what I mean? Going to, I'm gonna say this story quick, and I'm not gonna get into the nuts and bolts of it, but like real quick over. I was away on vacation with my girlfriend in April, and I come back and I found out my dad got into a fight at Wendy's with like 15 people. Damn. And I'm like, what is happening? When I heard the story, they weren't fighting with him. A bunch of kids were jumping somebody or were trying to fight in there. But then the fight started making its way to him and he had to protect himself.
Of course.
And it's like, so like you just going to eat at Wendy's now is starting to become not a life or death situation, but now you have to be on your toes on, will something happen to me or will it not happen to me?
No, I hear you. No, so, you and I are on the exact same track.
Yeah.
I think 1 steps traditionally, when you begin with them, we're introducing the idea of someone punching at you.
Yes.
So it's really easy, like you said, ready position, step back, block, punch. Okay, the punch is coming. You block, you counter. That's simple. All I've ever tried or done has the basics. It's a block, punch, punch. It's a block, kick. That's nice and basic and simple. But like you said, as you get to intermediate and advanced, we got to amp it up. Okay, because nobody in a fight is going to give you the chance to get ready, step back, and then throw a straight punch. In fact, in most fights, nobody throws a straight punch to begin with.
Mm-hmm.
It's usually in most of the situations I've seen or I've been in, it's somebody coming at you with a wild punch. And so I did have a class where we had techniques to use against wild punch. And it was literally, okay, you ready? Okay, wild punches. And you got to learn, okay, what can I do in that situation? How do you break that situation down? How do you block someone who's throwing just wild punches? You don't know where they're coming from, how they're coming. And now you got to decide, do I have to block this? Or should I step back and hit him with a turning sidekick?
Yeah.
All these different scenarios. Or the other scenario that I always try to set up, not just wild punches, okay, because the other thing that happens is somebody pushes you.
Mm-hmm.
Or they don't just push you, they tackle you to the ground.
Mm-hmm.
So
I I'm actually working with that on my black belts. I work on like most people, they're gonna try and go for your legs, they're gonna try and grab you. What's our
Yeah.
defense? Hips low, hips high. What's our center of gravity? I told him, I was like, we have to use some wrestling foundations to help us maneuver, right? But
100%.
something else I think that's really big. So something I've put into my system, and I'm very big on using with my students, especially once they hit teen and adults, is your basics are going to change. And I say that in
Yes.
terms of we have our basics, right? What we do, downward block, boom, front punch with a front stance, everything, right? But then I also have like our self-defense basics, our kickboxing basics is I need a knee, I need an elbow, and I tell them like I teach you all your elbows. I teach you, 6 to 12, 12 to 6, right? Like 3 to 9. Like you need to know the different angles of throwing this elbow, right? And I tell
Yep.
them like that is part of your self-defense. If we're doing a one-step and someone throws a hook and you answer the phone guard, from there I should be answer the phone to your elbow, to another elbow, grab gooseneck, go into a knee, right? Like there has to be some type of self-defense. And I tell the students, like, I make them drill that. And I make them
Yep.
do it. And I make us like we have tie pads. I hold the tie pads. I teach everybody how to block knees. So you know how to block and you know how to attack with a knee, right? With my black belts, sometimes I'll start rolling with them. I taught them basics, how to get up from mount, how to get out of mount. And then I'm like, do not let me put you in mount. Stay in half guard, stay in full guard, get to side control. I don't care, but do not let me put you in mount. And I
think
force them to do that.
I think it's always when you're starting out, you build the foundation,
Yep.
and then from the foundation, we have to keep building. We have to keep going, and you have to have an arsenal that you just keep putting it in your belt. Put this in our belt. Put that in our belt. That goes in the toolbox. That goes in the toolbox. Yep. Now you have all these tools that you can use. So then, when you're in any situation, you get to be. You get to react. You're not just, you don't go, oh, well, sir, they didn't step back and punch like I did in class. No. That's never going to happen unless you're in class. That's where we start to get you understanding. But now we're going to put you in real world situations and try to help you to, be able to react to anything. Okay. Anything that comes your way now, you can react to it and counter. And so you don't get hurt.
One of
the control the situation.
And one of the last things to wrap up this topic, and I think is going to like really give a holistic view on what you were just saying, right? So I just went to a tournament this past weekend on Sunday. I didn't compete. I just brought my students, right? And it's a tournament that's it's not like the highest level of tournament. It's not me saying this to degrade the tournament at all. It's really just me being honest. It's like an invitational only type of tournament, right? And for my students, it's great competition because I don't bring my students to tournaments. I think I've said that before. I don't really do much of that, nor is there a lot of tournaments in Connecticut anymore. So they would have to drive extremely far distances. This tournament was in New Hampshire. If anyone knows where Connecticut and New Hampshire is, it's about like a 3-hour drive just to get to the tournament. Okay. So it's pretty far, right? I brought students. I was very proud of like my black belt said something to me, which I was very proud of, but I used it as a teaching moment. And just to speed up the process, all he said to me was, like, I like dojo sparring better. Because he fought the tournament. He did great. He got third, right? And that let me know that I'm doing the right thing. Yeah, I said it 5 different ways. I had to figure out how I was trying to get it out. Let me know I'm doing the right thing in terms of preparing him for self-defense, and I'm preparing him to save his life, right? Dojo sparring is we don't have a headgear on. Dojo sparring is sometimes there's going to be days we're doing flow sparring. We're doing we're just trying to work slow pads. We're trying to work slow combinations. Sometimes we got to put the headgear on. We're going kickboxing, right? That let me know that I'm working them the right way. But what I used as a teachable moment was, how to fight point fighting because that's our base. Our base was me teaching you how to pump kicks and how to do some of this. I was like, so I need you have to be able now. The next part of your black belt training is how do you differentiate, how to switch between styles. I was like, you have to be able to know how to make it. If we're in a point fight, go point fight them. You know how to do that. And as I told him, I was like, all I need is speed. I don't need power here. I just need speed. Give me speed and we'll get through the day, right? But there may be a day I gotta tell him, hey, I need you to bite down on your mouth guard and let's give this dude some real hits, right? But it'll be different if I only taught one way or if we have one approach to karate. Not every kid can bite down on their mouth guard and say, I'm gonna go and we're gonna be in the fire for a little bit. Not everyone has that, and that's what's scary. And I think my approach I took to my karate school is, let me get kids comfortable with that aspect as early as possible. Because then for us to move to the next part, which is being able to, let our foot off the gas pedal, that's a little bit easier than me trying to tell you, you have to put your foot down, go in there, and he's going to throw punches at you that are hard, and you got to stay in the pocket. If you're not comfortable with that, that's an anxiety. That's a stressor in itself. And I think that's where, again, the 1 steps and the 3 steps all come back to it is, if I apply it to real world, what it's looked like to see a wild punch that's thrown as hard as it can be.
Yes.
And then because you know that and because you're comfortable in that, you'll be able to assess the situation. And as we hear all martial artists say, man, it went so much slower in my mind.
Oh, 100%.
And that's because if your training is proper, it will give that effect. And that's because you're analyzing things at a faster rate than most people will. So that's where I think, my stance on 1 steps and 3 steps, and I think they're useful. I think it's just the biggest thing is how do we apply it? That's all.
100%. And that goes with everything in martial arts. You know what I'm saying? Okay, so we got Universal Soldier, The Day of Reckoning. Yes, I ended up watching this one before I watched the other one.
I know.
So I rewatched this one.
But I'm going to tell you right now, you're going to have to help me a bunch, because watching it again for like the 5th time, I still don't understand nothing for this movie.
I get it, but here's the problem. I seen this movie and I seen it done better. And I don't know if you've seen it, but did you see it's called Bloodshot with Vin Diesel?
Bloodshot. That's what it's called.
It's called Bloodshot, and it's Vin Diesel. It came out a couple, like 4 or 5 years ago, and it's based off of a DC comic. And it's basically the same thing.
Bro, I've never seen that movie. I've never even heard of that movie. So
let me make sure I'm saying it right, but I'm pretty sure that's what it's called. So the beginning of the movie starts pretty much the same way, like this one. The family is attacked, his wife and daughter are killed. Only there's a song playing in the Vin Diesel movie. And that all comes in play later, because the song is the trigger to basically have him kill the target. Yeah, it's called Bloodshot. It's Vin Diesel. It didn't do very well, but what year did this come out? 2020, so 4 years ago. Anyhow, it's based off of a DC comic. And the basic idea is they want you to go after a target. So they set you up with this basically brainwash where you think something happened that never happened. And that's basically the idea of this one. Now, my problem, I get all that. My biggest problems in this movie was, one, right off the bat. So this is supposed to be after the last movie we just watched, right?
Yeah.
So
I already know what you're gonna say. I don't know either.
There's no backstory to, one, tell us where this version of the Unisoldiers came from. I forget. Why can't I think of his name? In the movie he's John, but no, the main character in this one, it's John, but Atkins, yeah. So so I guess he's a new version. But then they show who set up this whole killing of his wife, and it's Luke Devereaux.
Mm-hmm.
Now, he was the hero in our last movie. Now, all of a sudden, he's the villain.
Mm-hmm.
Now, the other thing, and I probably could have looked it up, like, they only showed him like 4 times in the movie, and he looks totally different than he's ever looked. Like, he's got a bald head. He's got he's bald. He's like got like almost decay on his neck and stuff. And so I almost felt like, was he CGI'd in this movie?
I have a theory. I have a theory about it, but I'll wait.
What's that?
So
what's the theory?
My theory is this: the decay on his neck was. These were the after effects of him getting pumped with so much drugs and being the first original
Oh,
Unisoldier
okay.
all these years,
Okay.
right? Now his body is decaying because you figure his body has gotten like revived like 4 or 5 times already. So it's having that issue. The next thing I also think is because I didn't understand his character. What I've always understood it as was this. The drugs warped his mind and now he's completely turned over. He became the very thing he was trying to protect against, right?
Yeah, and then he was basically he had like he was supposed to be like he was freeing all of the Unisoldiers.
That's what I'm saying. Like he hit enlightenment like a cult.
Yeah, basically what it was.
Like a cult, yeah. And he and that's what I understood as like just the drugs and everything. It messed up his mind and all that.
Okay, then the other question I had was how come there were 2 versions of John?
I don't
the one was nasty, and then this one was like a different version. And this, so we find out, and I don't know if the other version, but basically this version was created by the FBI.
Yeah.
There's an FBI agent that he talks to. He's constantly checking in. And I started to think like, okay, this guy knows more than he's saying. Because he created this idea of basically giving the Unisoldier a backstory that never existed. And then, sending him out in the world. And his target was Luke Devereaux. But Luke Devereaux's running around and he's freeing all these other Unisoldiers, including John. But what happens is John somehow is, when he's investigating things, he finds out through his investigation, he's killing some of these people who are part of the Unisoldier program, except for, lo and behold, it's not him because there's a second version of him, which he doesn't find out till almost halfway through the movie.
Mm-hmm.
And then he runs into a girl who knows his alter ego or his other version, but she has no idea until it's way later that there's does she even figure out there's 2 of them? I don't even know.
I don't think she does, but
yeah, I think, but she just thought he was different. This almost, what was the movie with Van Damme where there was the twins? It started giving me that vibe when we found out there was a second one. Yeah, Double Impact. I don't know. This movie to me, it could have.
I told you I hated this movie. I didn't like this one. This was not my favorite.
It had a good idea, but the execution was awful.
Maybe it is. I still don't. I've watched this like so many times. I still don't understand the movie.
Go watch Bloodshot. It's not a great movie, but it executes this similar idea.
No, I want to because honestly, I never heard of it, so I don't.
Yeah, it's the same idea. It's just executed better than this.
Yeah,
and I think if I remember in Bloodshot, the memory that's not real, he ends up being clouded with real memories or something like that. So it's kind of like RoboCop almost. But anyhow,
it sounds like everything goes back to RoboCop.
I mean, it's such a similar concept when you start messing with people's brains and bringing people back to life and turn them half man, half robot, whatever. So
yeah,
I mean, RoboCop was basically the original to do that in the 80s. I mean, some of the stuff with like this whole scene where they were at like this let's call it a bathhouse to keep it clean, where we find out, I know, where who was this Andrei Arlovsky that was go in there to kill everybody, and then we find out it's
dudes were right in the middle of taking a shower and they were just
right. They were definitely taking a shower.
Yeah. They were very dirty. They were very dirty.
Yeah, they were. He's running around. He's just killing. And you don't even know at the time that these are Unisoldiers, but we figure it out because the guy running this place was our favorite. What do you call it? Russian soldier. which I thought that was crazy. Because
I'm
how
like,
does
how did
he keep
he
popping
come
up?
back? I'm like, how did he come back? But this is why I was saying, Joe, I don't understand the movie because in my mind, they're all dead.
Well, it's almost like they kept making these versions. That's what I said. Now that to that point, it's Terminator. You got your T100, your T200, your T3. It's almost like these are the standards of the Unisoldier, and it all started with Luke Devereaux. The Scott Adkins, I guess, is the upgraded version. He's the 4 or the 5, whatever. I don't even know what they're on.
It's like Luke Devereaux went to like a sperm bank and then just donated.
Pretty much. I mean, more or less.
I just think it's crazy. That means they must make a copy for each Unisoldier they make. They must have a copy or something.
Yeah, but then the guy who's killing them all is a Unisoldier himself, and when he goes to why can't I think of his name?
He goes to who?
Our fate. The guy that's running this whole thing.
Jean-Claude Van Damme?
No, his name was Andrew in the movie, but what's his name in Dolph Lundgren?
Oh, I'm like, what do you
yeah,
like?
I couldn't think of his name. His character is the first one to show us how they free the mind of a Unisoldier. Because even though this dude came to kill him, he doesn't even kill him. He turns around and quote unquote frees him. I guess they stab you in your neck somewhere. There's a reset button or something. But then every time they get freed, the first person they see is Luke Devereaux. So I have no idea what that was about. It was like a reset button or something.
I felt like he was working for Luke Devereaux and he was part of the cult. Like he was doing like the dirty work for the cult, like trying to cross everybody over.
Yeah, because there was a point where he was pretty much running a cult where he was giving a big speech to all the Unisoldiers.
I just didn't like his face. I want to slap that damn paint off his face. I just hated it. I like look at him. I never see him bald before. I want to just slap the freaking paint right off of him. I hated it.
So basically, John, Scott Adkins, he is trying to figure out like what's going on. And does he even know at this point that he's a Unisoldier? I don't think he figures it out until they reset him.
Yeah, no, he doesn't.
Because he really is believing the story that was put in his head.
He is.
He's working with the FBI agent who's basically in control of him, and he's tracking down. He wants to find out what happened with his family. He's trying to find Luke Devereaux, and on his journey, basically, he finds out, one, that he's a Unisoldier. Two, he finds out there's more than one of him because he doesn't remember. He's finding out all these people that are dying, and he sees video of himself doing it, but he doesn't remember doing it. And then he comes across a house, and when he's in this house, he's attacked by himself. So that's when we find out there's, he's been duplicated, and his mission. I don't know if that guy, the first version of him, failed his mission or went AWOL. They never really said why he was on his own.
I'm not gonna say he went AWOL. I'm just gonna think he went rogue. That's the word I was thinking of. There you go.
Yeah, I guess going rogue. So yeah. I guess since he failed his mission to find Luke Devereaux, they created another one.
Mm-hmm.
So, and I don't know if they ever intended him to kill. Like, they probably thought the original one was dead or gone.
Probably.
Because it was never mentioned really by anybody about this this other version of him. So I think they just said, okay, I guess that one failed. Let's do it again.
Yeah, no, I agree.
Or did they change the story? Like that's what I'm saying. There's all these. there's all these holes that I'm just so confused.
Again,
That-
like I said, still don't understand this movie. What I think they always try to hit home on with all movies was you can never beat the original. That's why I always felt like they were always trying to like prove the point of.
Yeah.
What did you think of the fight scene between Andrei Arlovsky and Scott Adkins?
It was pretty good. I mean, that was a good fight. It was pretty much what I expected it to be. I always like watching Scott Adkins fight. He's always got he's really smooth and he's really fast.
I like watching him fight because to me he's that modern day Jean-Claude Van Damme.
Yeah.
He's that
But
modern day.
He doesn't do, you know, he's just real simple but real smooth about it.
You think he's simple?
I like
I don't
all
think
that.
he is. I think Michael J. White's simple. I don't think he is.
Well, when I say, I don't mean simple in a bad way. I mean, he's not trying to do all the jump, spinning, flying.
Yes, he is.
Whatever.
No. He's not simple. He's flashy. I think Michael J. White is simple.
I mean, I'll give you that.
I think when you look at all Michael J. White's videos, especially now, all he is doing is just a sidekick, a punch, a knee, and elbow. That's it, right? Scott Adkins,
a real fight. What else do you need?
I know exactly. Scott Adkins, he is more or less doing like the 360 switch crescent kick, you know, switch 360 on the back to a kip up to a front kick, turning side, you know, like he's more
most
of that.
movie, but most actors should be able to do a lot of that stuff. I'm just saying he's athletic and he's smooth with it.
Yeah, so I thought their fight scene was interesting. I thought it was crazy when he started taking the bat and hitting him. I thought that was like
I mean, how else do you take these things out, man? Like
Yeah.
they're freaking nuts.
I thought their fight scene was
always
pretty
coming
good.
at you.
Yeah, I thought the fight scene was pretty solid. I think I would have liked to see I would have liked to see Andrei Arlovsky use a little bit more MMA, but that's just me.
I agree.
Yeah, that's just me.
He just wasn't a big enough character. Oh, you know what? You're right, because he did. I forgot he did the flip kick.
Told you.
He did the flip wheel kick.
Yeah, told you.
All right. Yeah, you're not wrong. You're not wrong. I gotta pay attention more. Yeah, this is just this is one of those movies where it's just like, okay, it just needed to die.
Yeah, it needs to be done. It was kind of like American Ninja, just to get it over with.
Yeah, it just needs to be done. You know, like
what do you think about when Scott Adkins fought Dolph Lundgren?
That was a good one. I like that one actually.
You know, I have a thing, right, when he fights him. And my thing is this. I want to see Dolph Lundgren use more of his Kyokushin background in these movies. I feel like
he doesn't get hired for that. He doesn't.
But this is my thing. I know.
They want him to be that big Russian or that big, you know, whatever dude that you hate, and that's just going to come at you and keep coming at you like a bull.
But that's my thing, though. Like you're always seeing him throw these box. Like I think everyone remembers him for Rocky, right? And Ivan,
of course.
But he has a black belt Kyokushin. Like he's a problem. I want to see him utilize that. Like he has the skill. He can still do it.
Has he ever used it in a movie?
I think he has very, very, very lightly. But, you know, I think the fight scene, I think that was one of the better fight scenes, you know, out of the whole movie. I think that one was actually really good. Sometimes I wish they give Dolph Lundgren a longer fight scene. Have you noticed in all the movies recently, he has like the shortest fight scene? I feel like I'm like, give him a longer fight scene. I think he deserves it. You know?
No, I agree 100%. Now, he gets in the chair like he's the other version of himself. He gets in this chair to be like examined, I guess, or taken apart. I just don't know like what he was trying to
probably trying to get like not rebooted but get like upgraded. There you go. Like an update.
I guess. But all he was thinking about was the family that didn't exist, and that guy kind of explained it to him. Like how that family never existed, like it was planted to help you do a job. And then he just ends up killing that guy and going right after Dolph Lundgren, and then after Andrew, and then after Luke Devereaux, and it was over.
What do you think about that last one with Luke Devereaux? I have my own thoughts on it. So what do you think?
I mean, first off, the Andrew fight was, I forgot he had those big old machetes. First off, this last fight, Luke Devereaux looked insane. Like he literally had the paint on his face. Like he looked like he was really trying to go for war.
I wanted to slap him. You don't understand. Like looking at him, I wanted to say, who the hell is directing this movie? And who said that was a good idea? They want to like slap Jean-Claude Van Damme in real life and be like, why the hell did you let him paint your face? It looks stupid. Like,
it looks like powder.
Did. I didn't like the final fight scene. I'm gonna be honest, bro. That motherfucker was talking too much.
The fight scene before this was better than
like Jean-Claude Van Damme trying to get in his mind and play mind games and talk. I'm like, just fight, man. Stop talking. Ain't nothing to talk about. Just fight.
And the thing about this fight scene was when John finally ended it for him, he was almost happy about it.
Yeah, he was but like I said, because he's been dealing. It's like everything took over his mind. It felt like for that moment, he was brought back to reality and he realized what it felt like to be normal again.
No, I think he liked the challenge, but I think he wanted to die. And then this FBI agent, I don't even remember his name and I don't even care, shows up at the end like, okay, yeah, you did my job for me. And then John shoots him. He shoots him because he's pissed off that, one, you brought me back to life, stuck a memory in my head that doesn't belong, made me care, and then it was all just to go kill this guy. Like, screw you, bam, shoots him in the head. But then another one of him just shows right up. So obviously he's a unisoldier. So is this their way of telling us that they could do this again? They're going to do another movie, or like it's just never ending? What the hell?
If I did another movie, I would write a letter.
What are you gonna put in the letter?
I would just put like 3 words, or I'll put 2 words. Please stop.
Please stop. We're done.
But yeah, so I got you.
I mean, it is what it is, but you know, we made it through all these. I'm sure Gene's glad he didn't get to watch this one.
This one was god awful though.
But you know, what are you gonna do?
What do you have as your grade?
I mean, I'm gonna have to go with what did I do for the last one? Did I do a D or a D minus for the last one?
I think you did a D minus.
Oh man, so this one's getting an F. That's all there is to it.
But you say you're giving it an F?
Yeah, I'll just give it an F. I don't even care.
It's tough because like I actually think like I want to give it an F, but because it has those actors, I don't want to be too harsh. But like, yeah, this one sucked, bro. Like this one was bad. This one was bad. Yeah, I'm gonna go F.
Yeah, I just don't see the point in giving it an E. I mean,
all right, so F. We're gonna go F unanimous. What are you thinking about next? What we got next on our agenda?
I don't know. You got anything?
Technically, it's your turn. So, like, because I did this whole Universal Soldier thing. I mean, if you want, we could do this Jim Carter movie. But I mean,
it's an interesting movie. But
I'm not enthusiastic about that one at all. So I'm just saying.
I mean, I don't really care. What else? What do you got that could be better?
I mean, there's tons of stuff that's actually coming out or is out, but
I know there is some good things coming out.
Yeah. I'm down to do Jim Carter, which I'm down for that. And actually, I think
we can get Jeff on for that one too. So.
Yeah. So everybody, we're gonna do Jim Carter next week. We'll knock that one out. But before we log off, let's just quickly talk about some of the things that are going to be coming up in terms of movies, because it's movies that we're going to be covering. So if I saw correctly this weekend or yesterday, this week, something like that, they said that they've officially announced when when the movie theater release for Mortal Kombat 2 is going to come out.
Did they?
That's what I saw. Now, my thing is this.
The first one wasn't movie theater; it was straight to stream, right?
Yeah, because during COVID.
I don't see the point of having it come out in a movie theater. I think it should go straight to stream.
No, they want to make their money, man.
I don't see the point of actually doing movie theaters at all anymore. But that's a whole another talk for another day. Like it really is like it's a whole talk for another day. But yeah, so they have that movie coming out, which I am excited to see because I can't wait to see what our cast is going to be, what it's going to look like. That's going to be very interesting. The next thing is going to be we need to watch Kung Fu Panda 4.
Yeah, I saw it in theaters.
Yeah, so I didn't get to see it in theaters, but we need to watch Kung Fu Panda 4 because I would love to see what's going to happen with that next one.
It was just as good as the other three. They did a good job with it.
Yeah. Okay, so they did.
I enjoyed it. Yeah, I enjoyed it. I really did.
Cool.
I mean, it wasn't. Don't get me wrong. It's not like it blows you out of the water, but it was just as good as the rest of them. Like I mean,
the first one was the best. That was amazing.
Yeah, well, it's hard, but this one you'll see. I wasn't even expecting them to do it for. So once that came out, I was like, oh, I gotta see it. The other one is we got Cobra Kai coming next month. But
honestly, it's actually coming up kind of soon, right?
Yeah, but it's only so you saw what they're doing, right? I'm a little pissed. They're doing
what's up?
5 episodes.
Oh, 3 parts, right?
Yeah, 15 episodes, but it's not going to finish till 2025. So you get 5 episodes in June or July, I can't remember, but I thought it was June.
July,
like June. Okay, July, like 17th or something like that.
Yeah.
And then the next 5 are in November, like November 28th, and then you got to wait probably till the winter to finish it off with the last 5.
You know what?
So we are getting 3 extra episodes because it was 12 before, right?
Yeah. No.
Or no, it was 10 before. So you're getting 5 extra episodes.
You know,
I will say this.
I mean, respect to them. Great marketing because they're going to have me invested. But on the other side of it, just we're going to get through them things in a day. Like we ain't going to.
Like, I do all that in a day.
Well, you're different than me. I don't know how you do it. Like you're I don't know how you're able to knock out these movies before we even literally.
Man, if it's something I want to watch, I just sit down and watch it.
By the time tomorrow comes, you already watched everything, and I'm like, I'm still on the first episode. But
I know.
And then the other thing I want to talk about is it's Keanu Reeves who is producing Benny the Jet Urquidez's documentary.
Oh yeah, I seen you.
Which.
Put that in our chat the other day.
Yeah, which I think is going to be very interesting because I would love to know, is it going to be a live action? Is it going to be an actual documentary that it's going to be involving a lot of these sport karate and kickboxing superstars? Like what's going to be the interest and what's happening with this? Because man, it's kind of, I want to know, why is he doing it? I really want to know. Why is he doing it? What is his connection to Benny the Jet that made him say, man, your life is so good, we can make a movie about this?
Oh, I'm sure he's got some good reasons out there.
Yeah.
And they'll probably start releasing all that sooner than later.
Yeah.
Now that they put it out there. So
and then the last thing is that I want us to talk about is I am actually excited to see the spinoff of John Wick.
Yep.
Having Donnie Yen as the main character, and we know it's gonna be martial arts based anyways. That's gonna be awesome. That's gonna be awesome just to watch. So I'm excited about seeing that.
The John Wick universe has the Continental on what do you call it? Which I tried to watch. It's hard to follow.
I was about to
try again.
How is it?
Yeah, it's not John Wick. I can tell you that. It's different. It's got its own thing going.
Okay.
It's good, but it's hard to watch.
Okay.
Ballerina.
That was the one we talked about last time. They were in the works of that. Right?
Ballerinas should be wrapping up soon.
Yeah.
And then, like you said, the Blind Assassin, I think they called it.
Think so.
Was the talk. And then we still get John Wick 5. So
I know. All right, so it's
gonna be interesting.
It's looking good. Yeah. So we have a lot of movies coming up, everybody. A lot of stuff for us to be covering, a lot of new things. So it's gonna be great. So just stay connected to the channel, stay connected to everything we're doing. And yeah, man, I mean, I think that's really it. You got anything else you want to say, Joe?
No, I'm good, man.
All right, so cool. We'll holler at you. Stay safe, stay strong, and then director, play our music.
Disaster must come. At best, only postponed. Shaolin Kung Fu, to survive, must now be taught to more young men.